Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are on episode 249. We are working in the Small Victories book doing our daily color. I was thinking of skipping today, but I'm too excited about coloring with the pencils that coordinate with our current color selection for the week from the Irojitens, which I have the whole 100 pencils to choose from. So I went ahead and did the mock-up. What I have discovered with the Irojitens, just as a general blanket statement, is that rough media does not necessarily mean brighter colors. So I just spent last night time doing the color selection and the mock-up, and I'm going to show it at the end. I was very impressed with how well the Irojitens did as far as brightness goes. It did take a little bit longer. As you will see, I have to do the light layers. It's a wonderful pencil for intermixing the colors like I've been doing with this particular color palette. And I will let you be the judge between the three where the Irojitens fall into place. So I don't always do mock-ups, but when I do, it's always on copy paper. I don't print out these copies to figure out color schemes and such on my rough Bristol vellum. And I'm using the smooth side. And it's still, compared to copy paper, pretty darn rough. And the Irojitens actually did not do so well because I have my swatches done on the Nina Bristol vellum. So as I spend more time, I'm actually going to grab my first color so I can keep talking. We're going to be using Deep Sea. This is for the background. There we go. EX4 is what it is called. I have my reading glasses on. I can see that it's a little bit far away from me today. And so I actually maybe don't need them today. Today has been a little bit better day for my vision. I don't really know why sometimes my vision messes up. I've been having a lot of cramping, and that I went and bought bananas. And when I exercise a lot, I do have more cramping. I do not know if vision is related to electrolyte imbalance or anything like that. But I also am back taking my omega-3, which I had stopped for not really any reason. I think I was just lazy filling my little pill dispenser because, as I've already told you guys, I'm off of all of my previous preventative medication except for one item. So I got lazy. That's what I get. I end up with cramps. I'm gonna have to say, living in Florida and exercising a lot does make you have to be really careful about your electrolytes and potassium especially, because that's why I get the cramping. So that is just a word of caution. So we are preparing somewhat for a potential tropical storm warning. Well, it is a warning for Helene. It has an E on the end, so I'm going to say Helene. Hurricane Helene, which is not going to land anywhere near us, but we will get some residual rain and a little bit of wind. So we have some things that are out, not put away, so we're going to be putting all those things away. Hub has been in and out today, so I'm getting a little bit later start coloring, because I did not want to hamper his errands and things that he was doing. So we are now mostly ready After I finish coloring, I'm going to shift some things around so we can put our golf cart in the garage for the storm. Because one thing that I have found, you never ever want to leave stuff out saying, oh, I'll just put it away if it rains. Because when it rains here, it dumps. It doesn't just rain. It's not normal rain. It is dumping rain. So we like to prepare for eventual afternoon. You know, every afternoon it rains. And every time we think it's going to be okay, we get dumped on while we're putting everything away. So we are putting everything away today. My parents are on day 2 of their trek here. They are taking Highway 90. And it is so funny because we have traveled the path that they are taking. We have actually traveled twice. We've done the head south through California, coming out very south, San Diego-ish. We've gone diagonal and driven through Nevada to Arizona. And then we've done twice where you head out through eastern Washington, across Idaho, then Montana. We've done that, well, 3 times, 3 or 4 times maybe, because we've been to Yellowstone twice, just for vacation, back when I worked. And when Hub worked, we took our 2-week vacation. And then we've done that same direction once, all the way across to the Dakotas, can't remember which one, and then straight down to come here. In fact, it was the second time we came here that we went straight across, then down. And one of our favorite places to camp was on this highway. We had to go past our turn, and it's like this gravel lot with some hookups, no buildings. There's like a host there. It was $25 a night, and in the morning we went for a walk and found a dilapidated house that you probably should not go in, but we went in it anyway, and it felt like post-apocalyptic fallout scene house. So we took some fun pictures of it. And yes, we tread very carefully because you just don't know if the floors are solid in homes like that. So we've done the background. That's how easy that was, because there's not a lot. Oh, I missed one. I was just going to say, so I'm not going to have to do a partial. We're going to move on as soon as I finish this little section. So I felt that this is nice and vibrant. The pencils are soft. They feel more on the silky side, I would say. I don't even know, just like I said with the Starjoy Gold, I have too many sets of pencils to keep track of oil-based or wax-based. These feel oil-based to me. We've got our color combo. The differences I'm seeing, the hot pink is not as hot pink, the soft pink is not as soft pink, but I think the other colors are good. And what's weird is, this must be the brown. Yeah. It's a little bit difficult to see the colors on the barrels. This burgundy color is so dark, it looks just like the brown right next to it, where I had set it. So let's get these colors showing. So the dandelion is perfect. I think York yellow is perfect. So the dandelion is V as in Victor 3. York yellow is EX2. Coral pink is P2. Orchid pink is P1. Plum D11, and the pinks are the only colors that I think I would have liked a wider variation between the light and the medium. And here is what the tips look like. So the tips, you know, look like they're going to be okay, but I do still think that the hot pink could be a brighter pink. So what I am going to do is I've got some choices that I've made about the flowers. Our inspirational flowers, I'm going to shift here so you can see. Here is the inspirational flower that started the color combo for this whole page. On today's image, the inspirational flower is going to be this biggest one. And then this cluster of 3 will be a slight variation. However, to keep the balance, I am going to use softer versions of the color combo on these 3, where I varied the color combos up here on these small flowers. We don't really have that type of small flower. So to keep things varied and interesting, these little fluffy flowers are going to be yellow-orange. These little flowers are going to be mostly peachy pinks. And for my purpley blue flowers, I am going to do these that look like lily pad flowers. There's 5 of them, 6, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 total. Those will all be blue. So let's see how that's going to go. The middles of these flowers will be the brown. It is called chestnut. So you're already seeing 3 layers to get this. This is yolk yellow. I am going through with small ovals. I'm not worrying about heavy pressure because I already know that these pencils are a light layering pencil. So I don't need to stress my hand out trying to work on the pressure to like get the color coverage in less passes. I am okay just taking my light layers and going in my ovals 3 or 4 times. But very casual, not making it too complicated. I'm going from, that was, I had the, started out, these little tiny circles are the yolk, yellow. Then I grabbed the dandelion for this is the outer yellow, and it is lighter. Now I'm going with the light pink, so we start with the fun mixing. So we have coral pink, and I am going to follow the little dotted lines for my color basing, leaving highlights on the right side of each of these. It's kind of like a pinwheel shape. The smaller flower here doesn't give me any hints for the shadows, so I'm just going to continue this shadows being about the same since the 2 flowers are in the same area. By the way, the bottom, I'm coloring this right side up. Here's the bottom, which means all of the shadows are going to be on the bottom side here. And that is why I am focusing on this little pinwheel start. It was fun coming up with the variation of each of the 3 types of flowers. I am not filling in all the tooth. I want to leave some tooth for the dark burgundy, but from my angle, and I don't know if you can see all of this, I see pink throughout both of those flowers. I am going to do this small one. The small one is only going to get like one, I guess I'm doing two layers, where I went over and over the pinks, but trying to leave tooth, because now I'm going to switch to our brighter pink. Medium pressure, 1 to 2 layers. I think I did this petal wrong. Well, that's okay. The nice thing about coloring, there is no wrong or right. Going on to our purple, which is plum. Yeah, plum D11. Doing little ovals. We have some shadow work to do right here. Light to medium pressure again, working on these little shadows. No, I'm going to have to add more layers. I just know it, so I'm okay with that. These are not going to be pencils that you say, oh my gosh, they lay down so quickly. That is reserved for the Color and the Holbein. Those two pencils really have a nice, fast, rich laydown. Okay, moving to the smaller of the two. I hope my knuckle is not causing too much grief. I did have to shift my book back down. So I'm past the middle of the book now, and I will tell you that past the middle, it's not good at staying open. So today, after fussing, holding with my right hand, holding the book open while coloring, I decided to make it easy on myself, and I am now using metal clips to hold each side open. front of this petal, this flower, I'm going to make softer. Still keeping some white to use to my advantage as a highlight, kind of a natural highlight. All right, I'm going to go back to my orange. This is yolk yellow. Because remember, the full blend starts with the yellow and then transitions to the other colors. These flowers are like a pinwheel versus a straight up daisy linear petal design. So this is going to be more of an intermixed color change. And this is actually going to be a little more orange to plum than my mock-up is. My mock-up is definitely more plum. As I've said about these in the previous times I've used them, they look in real life, as the color goes down, they leave a very crisp, clean look. They are not a crumbly pencil at all. So I do really enjoy a very tidy pencil. Okay, those are the three start ones that use the inspiration colors completely to some degree. I will come back at some point. I just want to move on and get the rest of it colored before I come back, but I will be coming back with this plum to darken up at least this one flower, leaving this one light peach. I might add a little bit of the plum. So now the next one I can just start grabbing at random. I'm going to grab the brighter pink. This is orchid pink. And I'm going to do some flower centers. I even have that chestnut, the brown, to come in with some shadows. This is going to give all of my flowers the base pink. However, I am going to go right into the yolk yellow and get some peachiness going. This one is on my mock-up, not got quite as much as the other two. And this one is going to be a much stronger mix of the peach and the bright pink, which I would love it to be an even brighter pink. But we are using the pencils that we have with the closest match we can make. And this one is going to be no peach. So we've got some variations. I'm going into the center here with heavy pressure. And then I am going to make the little tiny dots. Also orange. I may come back with more orange. I'm going to go to daffodil now. Adding a little bit of daffodil yellow to this peach. I'm going to add some daffodil yellow to these little tiny dots. I need more pink. I have not even used the light pink. I am going to stick with orchid pink. I am going to leave these 3 flowers as they are. I will come back in and do the plum shadows in a bit. I want to move on, putting the whole combo down. I've got blues to do. I do have to come back and do the yellow fluffy flowers. Okay, so now we have these kind of lily pad looking. They look very flat to me. So I will be doing my lines. This isn't even the dark color, is it? It is Wild Grape EX3. It is the dark. This is the light. Hyacinth Blue P19. P being pastel. D is a weird word. They used the word dull. I have just replaced the word dull with dark. I want these colors to vary between the flowers. I have 7 flowers in total. Hopefully the differences between these two will give you the hint of which one is going to be darker and which one will be lighter. All right, moving on to the light color, which, as I said, is Hyacinth Blue. All right, I have one last one to do here. I'm going to leave those alone. I'm going to switch to the green, the leaves. These leaves are going to be a light and a dark. I did not have a good match for either of the greens, so let's see how this comes out. We've got lettuce green, which is quite a bright leafy green, not quite apple green, but close. And then Scouring Rush, the lettuce green is P5, and Scouring Rush is EX3. And I'm sorry, my light should be on the bottom to be consistent. I am simply going to take this light green with light pressure. Since I already have the shadows done, I can go across pretty quickly, glaze over the top of the green that has already got a heavy layer, so it's pretty well burnished. I will make sure I do not skim across the flowers. Background is okay. But you can't really do the same thing with the flowers because there's a lot of tooth left, and the tooth would pick up the green. If I decided I wanted a hint of green on any or all of the flowers, then skimming across them would be fine. But look how few leaves there are compared to the norm. The norm being the other two images. Gonna have to do another layer of that, but I'd like to add this dark green. So this dark green is just as vivid. It's a little bit softer final color, but it is just as vivid as the background green, which was ocean green. Let's see if I can find it. Deep sea is what it's called. All right, for the moment, let's get these last two. I want to get the yellow fluffy flowers done. And then I'm going to come back through, likely with all pencils, to do one last darkening. Okay, the two yellows are going to be Yolk Yellow and Dandelion. Starting with a light layer of the Yolk Yellow, which is the orange. It looks very vaguely like a neon, but there are brighter neon tones than this one. The yellow, which is the dandelion. I am already burnishing. These centers are going to be orange with a little bit of the brown. All right, now let's go in. Let's grab our brown. It is called Chestnut Brown D2 for dull, and again, I use the, in my mind, dull is dark. So we're going to leave the tops of these little center buttons a little bit to the right, looks like. Everyone's turning out that way. I do kind of just let them be. Don't overthink it. Okay, I need this super sharp. I get to add a little half moon of this brown on all the little tiny yellow flowers. I will be adding some shadows like in here. So if I want to shadow in between this threesome, the darkest shadow is the one that goes behind both, and then I'll do a little bit of shadow between the two, and then shadow along the top. And in our ideal world, this bottommost flower would be the darkest. Let's see if that's too dark, but I still need to get the whole image going. All right, now I'm coming into the bottoms of these circle centers and the little scallops. So to me, these are a slower pencil. They feel very nice. They feel clean, like I said. I do not fear any crumbles. I don't fear I'm gonna, if I do use pressure, I'm not going to put any dark marks that have to be erased. This is more of a building up pencil than an erasing. I see that the blue has not got any centers done, and I want them to be yellow. So this is actually looking about where the Castle Arts looked before I added in the darks. I actually think where I left it with you guys, it was not as dark. This might be a hair darker. and I'm at 40 minutes, so I have 5 minutes left. I am going to challenge myself to see how close to done I can get. I think I've done all of the basics. Now it's just a matter of going in and getting the shadows, leaving the highlights, doing the shadows. This chestnut brown is deep enough. I could use it, but if I wanted that plum to pop more, I should switch to the plum now. I think I've got some basic browns. The browns can go in all of the yellows and the peaches, but I should use the plum for the burgundy colored flowers, as well as the yellows, and then switch to purple for the lavender blue flowers. The greens can also get a little bit of a cleanup. So I'm going to do dark blue, which is kind of purple, and is called Wild Grape EX5. And we're going to do our best to do some shadows on all 7 of these flowers. I am totally okay. There's some brown here. I like mixing tones, and because we might have some shadow as a reflection of these yellow fluffy flowers onto the blue, mixing colors, I'm going to be totally okay with whatever random color mix comes out. I try not to overthink the colors too much. This guy is really pale. Sticking with lines on this one, just for something different. Then I'm going to do this center shadow bit. Center shadow. This one has a little too much of the brown because it's so pale. So I'm going to darken the shadows up. Using heavy pressure now. But now I need to soften it and kind of blend them together. Nice, getting some good depth. This guy's all by himself. I might go ahead and leave this lighter and just do that little bit of shadow. A couple of these need more shadow underneath. All right, I'm going to leave the blues. I told you I was going to brighten up the burgundy, which I think is the biggest impact with the time I have left. That's the chestnut, isn't it? Yes. Very close to my eye to this, which is the plum. All right, let's darken up our flowers here. Because I've not got a hot pink, the palette here is going to be more muted than the others, I believe. And this plum is not as vibrant either. I'm adding in some dark lines right along the shadow dots. I want to have the flowers look curled, and I don't care if the eye sees them as curling in or curling out, as long as it just gives it, I think to each eye, each person is going to see the curl differently. I just want to give it a semblance of a curl. Okay, so that one is pretty vibrant. This next flower is, I think I want more pink. So I'm going to be softer with my use of the plum. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the pink with you guys. I might have to go back through and do the pink on my own. I want to leave this flower, but I do not mind a little bit in the center, but mostly underneath here. All right, so that one still looks very peachy. That's what I want. This one needs more pink. Darken that up a tad. I want to darken this, needs a little shading. And then I'm at 47 minutes, so as soon as I finish this, I will be calling this one done, and I might do just a tiny bit. I haven't done the green. I'll work on the green. So these Irojitens did a fantastic job. I like everything about them. I am okay with the vibrancy coming out. It's like you have to reveal that vibrancy. And I think they did great. So on that note, I owe you really quickly the mock-up. So here are the two. This is the Castle Arts that I did very quickly. I did both quickly. This one here on the left is Starjoy Gold. And here, I don't want to move the phone back, so we're going to show you. Here is the mock-up of the Irojiten. I did this very late last night. I was feeling pretty good and ended up staying up late getting that done. Really, really enjoyed it a lot. Now let's compare, because this is fun. Oh, pouring down rain. You guys haven't heard thunder, but that is pouring down rain. All right, so the vibrancy of the plum is quite more plum looking than here. So I am going to put some of that hot pink. Again, I wish this hot pink was more hot pink. So on my own, I'm going to brighten it up, just glazing the hot pink over the top. I will also glaze some of the hot pink on this one. I love the peach. So I'm going to adjust a little bit of the color palette, but overall I think it looks awesome. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And boy, do I have my list of what's tomorrow. I do. So tomorrow, it's official. I am doing the final set of pencils in rotation. Number 4 is going to go right here. And as much as I would love to do red Christmas poinsettia flowers, because that's what these look like to me, I will stick with the same color palette as best I can with the Derwent Lightfast, which is a muted palette. But we're just going to try our best to see how bright I can get that palette against these colors here for these 3 sets, which again is Starjoy Gold. Here, let's look on the real ones. Okay, Starjoy Gold, Castle Arts Gold. So oil. Not sure if these are oil or wax. I think they feel like oil, but I suspect they're just some sort of a mix. I have not, to my brain doesn't immediately think of them as either, but they feel like and behave like an oil pencil. So that's the Irojiten, and tomorrow will be Derwent Light Fast, and tomorrow is Thursday, which means Friday, Saturday, I'm going to have to buckle down and do the Romantic Country, and it's even possible that I might take a break and save this for Saturday, and tomorrow and Friday we will get to see Romantic Country. I have not decided yet, so hopefully we'll see you there.